Yo, what's going on? All my freaks and geeks out there, you already know what it is. This is the Square Round Table. We're coming at you with a short vid today. It's our new segment that we're doing, album reviews with DK, our boy DiKembe Douglas. What's going on, man?
What's good? What's good?
Man, you already know we just chilling. And of course, I'm your host, Chad Singleton, and these are my wonderful co-hosts. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
D.
Josh Singleton.
I'm Marcus. Mark and Mark.
Mark and Mark.
Like,
Yeah, man. Right, tip of the hat. And we are reviewing Mr. Logic, his latest album, No Pressure. His last album, apparently, before he retired from rap. So yeah, guys, let's jump into it, man. I want to know, what's y'all's favorite song off of No Pressure?
Soul Food 2. All day. Soul Food 2 was the
Soul
best
Food
song
2.
off that album, in my opinion. It took a classic song that we already already knew about Soul Food and made it better. Like, I didn't think it was possible for him to make that song better, and he did.
So what about you, Josh? You think Soul Food 2 also?
Yeah, well, I actually really like Five Hooks. And, Chad, you know why I like Five Hooks? Because of all the Kanye references in Five Hooks.
Yeah, right. Because you the biggest Kanye fan in the world, right?
I mean, I just really love his rap style. I love it. It's infectious to me.
It is definitely infectious. And after we explain after we tell our favorite songs, we can all explain why. But go ahead, Marcus, what's your favorite song off the album, man?
Mine is GP4. And because y'all all know I'm a diehard Outkast fan. So when he got that Elevators beat and actually went in through the song, like I said, I haven't been the biggest Logic fan, but this was a pretty good album. Like I said, his flow and delivery on the songs were really good. So that was my favorite though, because of the Outkast. So I'm biased as hell on that one, but that's my favorite one.
Okay. How about you, DiKembe?
I gotta go with Dad Bod.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, Dad Bod's
I
pretty
was surprised. I mean, I already liked the name, but I wasn't because I just thought it was funny. Like, it's such a common thing to highlight. But when I actually heard it, I was like, oh, okay.
I'm well, okay, so I'll just say mine, and then I'll ask you guys more about your favorite picks. But yeah, I just love Heard 'Em Say, man. Like that, I'm just big on I'm a sucker for a good a good sample. Like, I really am, especially when it's something that's not in that genre. Like, dude, like if you know how to mix and master some old school rock song or a country song and put it in a hip hop beat and just make that crap bust, bro. Like, I'm all over it. Like, I've always been a sucker for a good sample. And then just the fact how he rapped over the beat was perfect. How he put the hook in there, it's just a really dope song. Like, it's awesome. Like, right. It's definitely a highlight. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
And also, I really like Heard 'Em Say because, one, of course, his rapping was really good, but he also sampled Graduation, which is a Kanye song.
I think the theme
I knew you was going to go there.
He's like, Kanye? I'm on it. Okay.
All right. I'm in. But yeah, DiKembe, what made you like Dad Bod, bro? Like, what about that song that made you dig it?
It was the best hook decision. The hooks weren't really grabbing me like that, except for the second song. So it was one of the stronger hooks, surprisingly, about something very personal and just kind of like a daily life kind of experience. I was like, dang, like Like he really
Yeah.
flexing like now, like he like checking his son, like, hey, don't give me no lip, man. Eat your green. But he said it in a dope way. Like I'm like, okay.
True,
Right.
true. I think what I liked about that song too, and I didn't really realize it until I was listening to the Needle Drop. I don't know if y'all watch that a lot, but Anthony Fantano was saying that he kind of gave a wink or like a nod to the Eminem style of rapping, like towards the end. Like his last verse in there was very Eminem-esque, just like the way he was just describing regular daily activities, and he did it in kind of a funny way. Like when he was saying that he shook the dude's hand after he like grabbed his balls or something, and and just the sound effects, because Eminem is big on descriptive words and then using like a sound effects in the background. So like, so it was kind of like a nod to M in a way, but yeah, no, that
that.
yeah, it's interesting, right?
Right, I like that.
And that's the thing I like about Logic in general. I feel like he's hated a lot. I won't say hated, but he's misunderstood for that because he's such a rap nerd. And what I mean by that is just like he wears his influences on his sleeve. Like you said with GP4, Marcus, and how he just straight up like did an Outkast beat, like pretty much his interpretation on an Outkast song, you know, or you know, like I said with the Eminem style verse at the end of Dad Bod, you know, it's just like he, and even just going back to his first album, Under Pressure, where he totally had like all the Kendrick Lamar influence in the world. You know, it's like I think that's what makes him a great rapper, because besides like shouting people out on his songs, he really shows that he does the legwork and he's a student of the game. Like that's why I appreciate him. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a strong argument to make.
And that's crazy because, like I said, this is probably the first album I've listened to where I've listened to more than one song, because even with this album, I didn't listen to every song, but I got through it enough. And it's the first time I'm actually hearing, like, you know, him rap, and like you said, how he's studying it, and the fact that he's using these samples and what he says in the song and the names of the songs. Like you said, he's a rap nerd, and I don't think you see that too much anymore with new artists. You know, they don't really appreciate, you know, the history and the culture of it anymore. And that's cool to me that he did something like that, because I wouldn't have expected that, because, you know, I haven't really followed him that much. So it was cool to see something like that, because I appreciate, you know, people who, you know, respect the culture of what hip hop is. So I do love that about him with this album.
Well, I'm gonna test you a little bit, Marcus. You know, it might be a little unfair, but I gotta say it because you're such a Biggie Smalls fan, bro. Did you catch the Biggie line though?
I think I missed it, but you gotta lay it on me.
This is the same song?
Yeah, no, he had a crap. Let me look it up. He had like this ridiculous Biggie Smalls line. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on real quick. See if you can find it too, Demetrius. It's the one. Okay. Let me see. Logic. And are you searching it up, Demetrius? And we can cut some of this out because it's like a.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Let me see.
So Josh, while we're waiting, how you feel about cover art comparisons? You probably noticed the art over time. He seems like a cover artist guy.
But I think cover art is more. I think more effort is put into it artistically, because one of my favorite cover arts is Kanye West's Graduation.
Yeah.
Yo,
Who's it gonna be Kanye?
You with Kanye West graduation, bro. I swear.
yo, man.
It's such a good album, man.
Like if he ever had to reference anything to anything like cover art or anything like that, just know it's Kanye West inspired. That's what I gotta know from now on. Like,
Right.
Oh man. Well, since we're talking about his nice cover, Kanye, how do you compare his cover art over Tom Logic? Because I notice his stuff has a very grasping aesthetic. That's one thing I may not listen to a lot, but it'd always be like, damn, like where did you find that? Like very it's not intricate, but it's just dope. It's not like just that's cool.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think album cover art is like become more of a art form in itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you get to look at like Logic's other albums, like Under Pressure, Under Pressure's album.
I found it.
oh, you found it.
When he said, like track 4, kick in the door by Notorious B.I.G. Don't believe me. Look this shit up. I promise you find the key. Bruh, I forgot all about that line.
Yeah.
Kick in the door, don't need the 4-4. All you hear is Papa don't hit me no more.
Yeah, that was a crazy ass line, bro. That was a crazy ass line.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just came out of nowhere with that. Man, I can't believe I forgot about that because that's like the first song or something, ain't it? Or one of the I forget which song it is, but I know I remember him saying that, man.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Okay, good.
But yeah, so pretty much if you look at Logic's other album cover arts, like the like Under Pressure's album art, it was basically like a prelude to the one we have now with No Pressure. And the second album art of his, where it's just like his face graffitied on a building, it's less intricate. And Logic tried to tell a story through his album arts, like pretty much where his mind is at.
No, that's definitely true. That's another, I guess, like highlight for me because he's really big on continuity. Like he loves connecting albums, especially like with his art, because all of his art is like ridiculously intricate. Like, and he puts like subtle hints to old album covers and new album covers, like how he did with Bobby Tarantino 1 and 2. Like those covers mirror each other. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing with No Pressure. Like the No Pressure album art is the same thing from Under Pressure, but it's just that the room is broken apart. And, Logic, I guess, is ascending into the sky or something.
Like
but
transcendent.
Right. Like transcending into the sky. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like as far as he really pays attention, I guess, to like the like I said, like the continuity of his music. Like he wants there to be, I guess, and it's kind of to his downfall too, because I feel like with some of his albums, like for specifically like Everybody, it's like you lose the musicality because you want to tell too much of a cinematic story, and it's like the music part of it isn't there. But I feel like with No Pressure, he definitely took a lot of that out of it, and it was mostly about the music,
Right. Yeah.
Like he made like nods to like his other projects. Like he made nods to was it the let me see if I get it wrong. The Incredible True Story. He made nods to like Talia and all, like, and the crew from there, and talking about Paradise and stuff. So he made nods to that, and she came up at the ends of the tracks of a lot of the tracks and stuff like that. And it kind of had that, like, kind of told us like the mindset and what he was like what anime he's watching and like what movies he had been in rotation during the project and stuff like that. So it kind of called back to a lot of things.
Right. Yeah. And like Marcus, like, do you feel like that helped the album or that hurt it, that he had the I guess the narration in between like almost every song?
I I think that helps because I'm gonna go and reference it to an album, from back. It's not an old album, but a few years ago, Good Kid, Mad City. It was like a narration and a story in between songs through the album, and it kind of like transitioned you into each song.
Yeah.
And I think with him it worked. Like I said, I haven't listened to a lot of him before, but for something where it's my first time really sitting down listening to him, it didn't take me out of it as much. It kept me attentive in like what he was trying to do. So I don't think it hurt the album, in my opinion. I don't think it did. It worked for me as a first listener, so it worked for me.
How do you feel about that, DiKembe? Because I know I'm really not too big when it comes to skits in between, especially when the skit takes up the place of a potential song. I'm not really a fan of that. But like, how did you feel? I didn't think it was an issue to have it kind of in between or towards the end of the song if it didn't lag on for too long. Like, what are some of your thoughts on that?
I guess I'm the audience for it because I just like little trivia like that. Like, if I really enjoying something and they throw in a little bit about how it came together, it's a nice touch. And it was just a sweet amount, little small vignettes of like, hey, this fun fact, hey, this fun fact. And she sounds cool. She sounds like her tone and everything really glues with the music. It didn't really like throw you off between the songs. So it worked for me for sure. Like I did like that part about the anime. Like I love little stuff like that that's going on in the actual atmosphere. I wish people would do more like just footage. I feel like more artists like they'll bring back footage from being on tour, but like you don't have to show your whole life like vlogging, but just like little stuff that just happened.
Yeah.
And just talking about it for like a quick second. Yes. It was good for me.
Yeah. And pretty much where I'm at with skits and stuff is they're cool too, but I feel like it's kind of hard to navigate what song you want to listen to because you don't pay attention to the skit as much as the actual song, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely, because it's I don't like it when it comes to being a chore. You know what I mean by that? Like listening to a song like what was that? There was a song by Lil Wayne and he had this ridiculously long skit at the end of it. I think it was the one I can't remember the name. It used the I think it was called Misunderstood. You know what I'm talking about?
Don't let me be misunderstood.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm just a soul.
Yeah.
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 Damn, he did have a long skit for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the song, but it became like a chore listening to it. And Logic sometimes does the same thing, and it's just like,
he did it on like Everybody. That's like one of my biggest criticisms of Everybody. That like it had skits at the end of the song, so you get through like the most of the song, and then you get that skit, and it ruined the replayability for me. So like there was like a fire song at the end. I think it was like Something America, and it was like the beat was dope, and then I think there was a skit at the end of it, and I was like like it kind of like it took me out of it. Like it was just so good. Like it's probably one of his best beats on that album, and like
I agree.
the skit came at the end of it, and I kind of started taking out, and I kind of almost skipped it at that point in time. I don't revisit that song because of that.
Right.
I'm glad that on this album he stayed away from that, and he kind of just made it like at the end of it like a little like trivia fact, or like he referenced it in his actual song in a way that wasn't too much.
It wasn't overbearing.
Yeah.
Like The Incredible True Story was a great album, but it doesn't have much playability for me because the skits are just so long.
Everybody, right? Everybody? Or
No, the Incredible True Story.
Oh, that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't as bad as like everybody. Everybody had like a 12-minute song. Like America was I think something in America was like a 12-minute song, and like only like I think a little bit over half of that was actually a song, and the rest of it was just like skit or something like that.
Yeah.
True.
And so I was just taken out of it, you know, at that point in time.
Yeah, and he kind of did that a little bit towards the end of No Pressure, but for me it actually works on the song. And I think when you have a good message and then when it doesn't just kind of come out of nowhere, and especially if the beat is dope and you feel like just riding to it, like it'll work. Like at the end, the last song, Obediently Yours, is like real. It was kind of like the song has like a full, I think it's like a 3 to 4 minute speech by Orson Welles. And it slaps though. And I could just listen to that over and over again, even though it's just nothing but a speech on top of a beat. It still slaps.
Well, that's because Orson Welles is just a great storyteller.
He
has an amazing voice. So, I mean, you can't help but to listen to that. So, I mean, I don't blame you for that one. Because as much as I hated sitting through Citizen Kane because it's the longest movie ever, it's a great movie. So I can't fault you for that.
No, true. Orson Welles is definitely the man. But I wanted to ask, like, so what is you guys? So we talked about our favorite songs. What's your least favorite song on the album?
I'd have to say Celebration, but like only because like there was a lot of other good songs like beat wise in there. And it's like the one I was playing it today and I was listening to it before I came home to, record. And it was the one song I was like, okay, out of all of them, that's the one song I can say that's not the greatest. But it's not a bad song, but it's just like compared to all his other good ones and the beats and whatever, it kind of it falls a little bit. So
and it feels kind of chanty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, chant is kind of hard to pull off. It's 50-50 when you do a chant song.
Unless you're go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was just saying, I was agreeing with DiKembe.
Well, I was saying, unless you're who, Joshua?
What?
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
I'm gonna be honest.
I wasn't even gonna say that. He caught me off guard with that.
Well, Kanye his older projects have had some of the best skits, to be honest with you. I never skipped those.
Yeah, those are some like the ones with Bernie Mac. I know we got our subject, but the ones.
Those are good. Right, R.I.P. Bernie Mac. But
sorry.
No, go ahead, DiKembe.
Can we reestablish the central question?
Oh no, I was just wondering, like, what's your least favorite song on the No Pressure project?
I feel like Celebration is that's a good point, but I would have to say that. Yeah, I'd have to say Celebration. Too. I honestly, I'm not going. I know it sounds crazy, but I wasn't really feeling his flip on Elevators. So like that had to. I was feeling the verses, but the chorus was throwing me off.
The chorus was throwing me off too.
He could have done it a little bit more. What's the word? Not spoofy, but he could have done it more parody, like where it sounds almost just like the cadence and the words and stuff. I was like, no. So that one, and I gotta agree. Like, it's between either or GP4 or that or Celebration.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I have to kind of like disagree with you a little bit, DiKembe, on okay. The thing about this album is there's a lot of good ideas and bad ideas put into one. Like I don't like the hook in GP4. I really don't. But like I said, that song has one of the best lines in it, like the Biggie Smalls line. And I'm not really a fan of Dad Bod either, because I feel like that song kind of lags and it don't really go nowhere. Like there's nothing in Dad Bod that really gives me like a vibe to where, okay, I like listening to the song like aesthetically. Like it's the beat don't really go too hard for me. Like the lyrical content, I feel like it's gonna get old after a while.
Yeah, it's too triumphant. It's way too triumphant, and it's like way too early to be triumphant.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling y'all that before when we was talking. I kind of felt like on some songs he was rambling a lot.
Yeah.
Like the way he was going, and I think like it kind of took me out of the album. And that's why, like, when y'all say certain songs, I don't really remember them, like, what he actually said or by the name of the song. But I do remember, like, the certain moments where he would, like, kind of lag on. And I was like, okay, you know, is he going to do this for how much longer or how many songs he going to do this on? I'm like, you know, let's get, like, what's the song, like, Perfect? You know, I like that song because he rapping, he got to the point, it was boom, 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 and then that was the song. So like when he would do that, when he be rambling, I'm like, come on, man, like, you know, I'm trying to give you a chance, bro. This is my first time listening to one of your albums all the way through, so I'm trying to give you a chance, bro.
Yeah.
I really didn't have a song that I didn't like because of the fact that it was my first time listening to him. So I was just trying to figure out, you know, what his style was. And I know it's kind of a bad time to have a first listen for an album because it was the last one. But I mean, you know, for the viewers out there, I'm the person in the group who's the black cat. So this is, you know, they picking on me right now, but I'm hanging with them. So that's my whole outlook on it, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How did you pick your least favorite, Josh?
Yeah, I pretty much agree on Celebration. I didn't really like it either.
Mm-hmm. And that's a shame because it's like, once again, I guess it's kind of and that's gonna lead me into like my next question. It's kind of the thing to where it feels like, I'm not gonna say it's undeserved. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, but it's kind of it's an old man album, you know what I'm saying? and by saying that, I mean, like, you know, he's rapping like he's been in the game for so long. Yeah, for so long. And it's just
for
like
40 years. That's what I was saying. Like, Dad Bod is too triumphant. He act like he been in the game for like 30, 40 years.
Dang.
No,
Come on, my man.
I mean, it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's kind of like apples and oranges, man. It's like, okay, I get it, but you didn't have to choose that path. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, and that's kind of what the next question I'm gonna go into. So this, and for you, Marcus, it is like, you know, your introduction to Logic, but as far as and I want your opinion on it too, but for everybody else, you know, that's had the experience of listening to Logic's older projects, whether it be you know, Under Pressure, or you know, some of his mixtapes or things like that, like, do you feel like he left on a good note? Do you feel like this is a good send-off to Logic? Like, what do you think as far as this being possibly the last album we'll ever hear from Logic?
Well, I feel like it was a terrible way to. I feel like it wasn't a really good way to go out because No Pressure's coming off of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which I feel like on that album he pretty much was complaining about what people say about him and what people feel about him, and that's not always good. My thing is, you should just do what you do without caring about what people think. And No Pressure's just like, I feel like it's a project of validation for his skills that wasn't needed because he's a good rapper.
Right. Okay. I can understand that. Go ahead, Dmitri.
Oh yeah, I mean I think he did like I disagree. I kind of disagree. It's like I think he went out on the best note he could have went out on, going coming from the heels of his last album. Like I think that if he stopped when he needed to, because like his last album was very like, I'm in my feels, like, you know, I need this kind of respect from you guys. Like I'm putting myself out there. And it's like nobody's coming at you like that. Like there's only a couple people coming at you like that, Lottie. Everybody else liking your style. Like we were liking the Under Pressure. We were liking these other projects you're doing. There were some bad things about them, but they were good albums, you know? And then that whole album, he was just like, yeah, you know, people on the internet are telling me that I'm, you know, not the greatest. And I'm like, well, you haven't been out long enough to be called the GOAT yet. Like, you know, like you haven't been out that long, man. So, you know, it was a good album to go out on because he came back to like where his first project started, you know, Under Pressure. He went back to that rap style where everybody wanted him to be back at in the beginning. And it's, as I told Chad, it's a good companion piece to Under Pressure. If they would have came out right after each other, nobody could touch him. Like nobody could. He would be good. He'd be okay. Nobody.
He'd be
like,
good.
Everybody'd be like, oh, okay, he's got bars. Like he can rap. You know, he's got a way of flowing things together. But he didn't, and he let the critics get to his head, and let the people who, you know, came at him for being biracial or for, you know, saying that he's corny or whatever. They let them get to him, and he made projects about that, and then he made an album about everybody, but like it didn't work out because it's hard to make an album that fits everyone, you know. Mm-hmm. So he had the right intention for those things, but like execution wasn't the greatest. So I think he ended out on a good note because he got back to his roots. He went back to where, you know, we all, like me and you, Chad, we loved his No Pressure, or I'm sorry, Under Pressure. Like that's the best album I think he put out. Like we can argue and say, you know, have an argument all back in day, but you got to give him his credit on that album. That album was great, and I will go back and listen to that album on repeat years later.
Yeah. No, true that. I feel the same way. What did you think? Being somebody that's listened to more of his body of work, DiKembe, like, what do you think about his last album being a send-off? Do you think it's warranted? Do you think he should do more, or do you feel if this was his last project, would you feel satisfied with his body of work?
I don't think it's tough not being the core fan, you know, like I'm definitely a casual. Mm-hmm. So I'll say is it warranted? Yeah, just because people do what they want these days, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Gambino, like he's jumping different fields, and I don't get mad at him flipping fields. So I don't think I get mad at anybody retiring early. I just have like a sense of respect if it holds up. Yeah. Everybody knows the whole musician comes back after retiring trope. So that gets really old when people say that. Like nobody ever believed it. Yeah. But I saw clips of like the video and everything when he was like expressing his thoughts on it and why he was doing it. He's always like a heart-to-heart kind of guy when he talks on his subjects and stuff. So it's like, I think it's warranted, and I don't think it's satisfying though. I don't think it's like cool, like 3 out of 5. Like, oh, okay, this is it. You know, especially like when you got haters and stuff. Like that's just kind of Like, I ain't gonna lie, when Nicki Minaj was like, I'm gonna sit down, I was kind of happy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of awkward when you do that when you're getting like the most opposition, you know, making it worse.
No, you're right.
So yeah, it's double-edged sword. I'll say that.
True that. How about you, Marcus? Just saying that, like, if this was your introduction, and if this was the only thing you heard, would it make you want to continue to listen to him as a rapper? That's all I'm saying, as far as that's concerned.
It actually would, because like I said, with this being the first time I'm actually listening, like actually hearing one of his albums, I was kind of like, you know what? Well, let me go back and revisit some of his old stuff because, you know, he makes those references to like, you know, I've been in it 10 years and I did this and they said this about me. You know, it's like, I was like, okay, let me see what he's talking about, you know, and why it's so important. And the fact that, you know, he's a good rapper. You know, I can't take that away from him. He's a good artist. And like y'all said, you know, he's a student of the culture and the game. So for me, I think, you know, if this is it for him, it wasn't a bad way to go out. You know, it wasn't like it was like the worst album ever. Um, you know, like I said, I'm not a fan, like a big fan, so I can't say, you know, if I was disappointed or satisfied, but I don't think, you know, he went out on a bad note. I think it is a shock that he's retiring, you know, so early because he hasn't really been, you know, doing it for like a long, long time. But I can understand why, you know, because it is a lot of pressure a lot of times to keep up, you know, with that music. And then, like y'all said, you know, you got people who are saying this about him and they expect this from him. And, you know, it's probably a lot. So, you know, I think if this is it, he didn't go out too bad. Cause like I said, I did like a few songs on there, you know, I connected with him a little bit. So I think he did pretty good, you know. It's not the best thing I ever heard, but I don't think it's too bad for a way to go out.
True. I don't know. I just kind of I'm on the fence about it because I definitely am 100%. I'm a Logic fan, but I kind of liken his situation to a lot of other rappers. I mean, he almost makes it seem like the feeling that he has towards hip hop and towards fans and he makes it seem like it's almost exclusive to him. You know what I'm saying? And as far as other rappers feeling that I guess pain of putting your project out there and people not accepting it, it happens to a lot of people. Like, you know, as many people love the ground Chance the Rapper walks on, his last album got trampled. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Jay-Z. As many people love the ground he walks on, nobody like Magna Carta Holy Grail. Like, I mean, these are things that just happens. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna be on your side all the time, and it's not to make it seem like all his projects were bad. Like it wasn't. But it's almost like having too many actors in one movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you got so much stuff going on, then the idea of the project gets skewed. Like that's how I felt about Everybody, and that's kind of how I felt about the True Incredible Story.
Incredible Story.
Yeah. I
the Incredible True Story.
Incredible True Story. It was so much going on, and I'm not saying there weren't any gems in there because there were a lot of great songs, but I think Logic is more focused when he discards all of that and then just has a fire beat, and just raps over it. Like, and I mean, the work is there. You know what I'm saying? It's there. When you look at Bobby Tarantino 1 and 2, Under Pressure, the work is there. So I feel like for Logic to release like these albums back to back to back that weren't really hitting like that, and then release No Pressure, it's almost like it's just like, wow, this guy has been there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And then it's almost like Logic saying, haha, yeah, guys, see, I could do it. All right, bye.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's my thing. And I'm like, as a standalone album, is No Pressure a good album? Yes. As a goodbye album, I'm not really feeling that because I'm just like, as a fan, I feel like I'm being robbed because this is like, I'm thinking in my head, you know what I'm saying, that you just this is just who you are now as an artist. You know, I get these last couple of albums and I'm hearing the same thing. Then you bring No Pressure and you're like, yeah, guys, see, I told you I can do it. All right, peace, I'm done. It's just like, whoa. Like really? I kind of want some more, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it leave you wanting more. And that's how I was. I was like, dang, this gonna be it? Because, I mean, it was kind of banging, so I want to see if he can keep this going. But, hey.
Yes.
Like, it was kind of like he wanted to, like, show everybody that he could still do the under pressure kind of, like, flow and style. Like, he could still rap like that. Like, you know, people were, like, kind of questioning him, like, oh, can you put out, you know, good beats and good flow and everything? And he was like, okay, I got y'all. Pushed out No Pressure. And I was like, yeah, I got it. Okay, now I'm going to retire because I did what I said I'm going to do. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
He felt like he had to prove himself to somebody.
Yeah, and that taints it for me. Like that for me is just like you came at it from the wrong. Like Joshua put it perfectly. The last album, you were really upset. Like obviously, because every song was like, they hate me, but I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Why do y'all hate me so much? I'm a great guy. Like that was pretty much his whole Confessions of a Dangerous Mind album. It was complaining and whining. Were there some good songs in there? Yeah, but a lot of it was just like, I'm upset. That's what that album was. And now you drop this album, which is like, haha, in your face. I told you I can do it. And now it's just like, it just for me as a fan, and I am a Logic fan, it just comes from a weird place. And it just leaves me, I won't say with a bad taste in my mouth, but it just leaves me like, well, geez, man, you know, if you did this now, like, why did you release Supermarket? You could have you wasted albums. You know what I'm saying? Like and you know, for all our viewers out there, you know, I'm not trashing Logic. Like I'm coming at it from a purely like objective standpoint when I'm just like, for the listener, I'm like, it's almost just like, okay, you've been making bologna sandwiches for 10 years and then, you know, when you're about to retire, you make like, you know, a steak or something and it's delicious. And I'm like, whoa, you can make steak? Right. Are you like, man, you know what?
Oh, wait.
Can you make this steak again? And you like, nah, bro.
Nah, I'm done.
Limited time only.
Right. And now I'm just like, dang, bro, you know, I thought you couldn't cook. And you're like, nah, I was just lying. It's like,
I was just putting out bad tasting food for a good couple, you know, years or so. And then when you called me a bad cook, I was like, I got something for y'all. I'm gonna throw you a steak.
For real. But yeah, man, I mean, that's just my thoughts on it. Overall, like I said, you know, there was some bad, there was some good, but I really did appreciate the No Pressure project. I really hope that this isn't Logic's last project and he's just like every other rapper that says they're going to quit for publicity and album sales and comes back. So, you know, I really hope that's the case. But in all, you know, I want to know, so we can wrap this thing up, guys, what would be your overall score for the No Pressure album? Like out of 10 being the highest.
Oh, we're doing 10, we ain't doing 5? I was like, I was prepared for the 5. Okay, let me think about the 10. All right, shoot. Okay, I'll go for it. Everybody else go before me because I gotta think.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say from the impression, I would say it feels 7, 8-ish, maybe 7.5. It's strong enough to wouldn't. There's no skips so far from what I you know. So
okay,
I gotta give it at least leaning towards the 10 side. But can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
So, because he did mention mania in one of his lyrics. So he did kind of touch back on the mental health thing. Are you saying are you kind of saying it's kind of the same thing like Big Day? Like where it's like he's saying it's about this, but the fans are like, no, it's about this, because he mentioned mental health and wanting to be a dad for why he retired. But you're saying he's like, you know, I'm tired of this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kablooey.
Kablooey.
So you feel like he's kind of like hiding behind real life issues, and just.
Well, no, I'm not. What I'm basically saying is just like you said, with Chance the Rapper and rapping about his wife and stuff like that. He raps about what he likes. Like I said, I guess what he deals with in his life, like talking about mental health, talking about how, his stuff with his dad, or about him being biracial. He raps about that stuff, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, just like Chance the Rapper's album, we don't have to like that. But my thing is, you rap about it, and then you want to be upset that nobody really messes with it like that. But it's just like, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. You can't be mad at that. It's just like, do what you do, man, and move on. I don't think that's a reason, to hang it up and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Because wasn't nobody bumping with, you talking about you being biracial for 3-4 albums. My thing is like, hey, but here's my thing. If you're going to do that, do it like you did it on his album. Like a lot of the stuff he, always talks about, he still talked about it on, in one way, shape, or form or another on No Pressure. But the biggest difference is it sounded good. And it wasn't like Marcus said a lot of the time. It wasn't you rambling on or being preachy about whatever. You said it, you cut it, and then you kept it moving to something else. And that's great. But I want more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I that's honestly what I like most about it, though, to be honest with you. It's weird. He's kind of doing a lot of approaches that you have to really be good at. Like, you have to be really good at how you decide to put skits. You have to be good at about addressing criticism. He's doing like a lot of risky stuff, and it's just like, according to y'all, over time, and other projects and stuff. But I do wish more people would kind of like talk back to fans and stuff like that, because it's very easy to be a professional critic or just to be an amateur one. It's always easier to criticize the work and stuff. So like, I kind of like when people address their audience and stuff. But obviously, it can fall apart real quick.
Yeah, definitely. It falls apart for me when you try to, I don't know, I guess like when you just like kind of like everybody, when you try to compromise, I guess, your ability or what you're good at to try to please the fans or try to cater to a bunch of different people. Like it gets skewed when you do that. Like, you're like, okay, I'm a guy, I love anime. Anime is great. I like, I'm biracial, Black Spider-Man, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Jesus. It's just like, you got a lot of stuff going on, bro. It's like, and in No Pressure, I feel like he was just like, yeah, y'all, this is me. I'm not trying to cater to a bunch of people. I'm not trying to write a book, because that was the biggest thing about Supermarket. He was trying to sell his book, and it just happened that there was an album that came with it, and the album just came across as really like half baked, in my opinion. You're doing too much when you should just be like Marcus was saying. Why is every rapper trying to make a rock record? It's like, dude, you're a rapper. Do what you're good at. Rap. Don't worry about all the cinematics and all that kind of stuff that comes with it. Just make a nice cohesive rap record, and that's what No Pressure is. And then he wants to leave on that note. It's just like, okay,
Yeah. Makes me wonder if anybody should really leave, or they should just kind of live out their lifespan and stuff. I guess it's kind of hard to leave on any note.
Yeah, I guess so. So I don't know, but I'm sorry, I kind of rambled on. But how about you, Marcus?
I will give it, because it's a first listen for me, I'll give it a solid 7 I was gonna give it a 6.5, but I'll give him a 7 because it wasn't a bad album, and it was my first time listening to it, and I would probably have to listen to it again, to kind of get the full effect. But definitely, I give him a 7 out of 10 on that because it wasn't that bad. So I enjoyed it as far as music wise. So
True. How about you, Josh?
I would say I give it a probably like DiKembe said, a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. And I give it an 8 out of 10 because it was a great album, but it came from a bad place.
Yeah.
It felt like more of a remember, I can do this. I can rap just like you want me to, but I'm leaving
Right.
though. Yeah, it's just like it came from a place that was unnecessary. He just felt like he was just frustrated, and he was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna give people what they want, and I'm gonna go about my life."
Yeah, I feel the same way. I would, and like I said, because coming from a Logic fan, I definitely like Logic. I feel like his body of work, even though some of it needs improvement, it still represents a guy that's a wordsmith that knows how to make beats, that knows how to put together a great song. Because that we've seen so many times that in the rap game, both sides are kind of hard to put together, because we got examples of guys like Lil Uzi Vert versus Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Lil Uzi Vert, he's not the greatest rapper, but that guy can put together a song. He just can. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Eminem, he's the best rapper, one of them. You know what I'm saying? He's like top tier, like the golden standard for what a rapper is. But do his songs have a lot of replayability? Not necessarily.
Not really.
Not really. Mm-hmm. But the thing I like about Logic was that Logic is just like when he's good, he's great. When he's good, he's great. He's able to put that together. He's able to make a song that has replayability, that also has the lyrical content. And that is a really hard thing to marry together. And when he does it well, it shows through perfectly. But unfortunately, like I said, with this album, I agree with my brother when I feel like it's a good album, but I don't really appreciate the place it comes from, because it's just like, okay, I'm doing this just to show you I can do it, and then I'm gone. I'm not that being a Logic fan is kind of disappointing a little bit, and for that, yes, I have to give it a 7.5.
All right, so, since I'm last, say the best for last, you know what I mean? Right. Drum roll. But I definitely agree with everybody. I'm giving it. I want to give it an 8.5, but I can't. I got to give it an 8, because of because of the reasons you said. He came to he was like, okay, it's my last album. This, that, the other. I'm gonna go back to my roots. That, the other. And he did, and then he was just like, yeah, I'm done. And it made me want more from him. I wish he would have put this album out right after, Under Pressure. I wish he'd have put it out earlier in his career when he was still hot. He hadn't gone through the whole, he went to a bad place or whatever. He kind of got his fans get to him. He got, emotional. And I wish it wasn't just like a ha, I can still do this. Now I'm done. I proved my point. I proved that I can still do this. I proved my haters wrong. I got it. I always had it. I always had this bag. I just wasn't pulling it out. It's always been in my closet. I just was like, I just was like, So yeah, that's my review. It's just so disappointing as a Logic fan. Starting off with Under Pressure, and how great as Under Pressure is, and I would say Under Pressure is his best album. I give that album a 9 like easy, with
Easy.
no
Easy.
question, like no question.
Easy.
But this one, I had a hard time giving it an 8 to 8.5 because it just doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel like he should have done this. Like I'm disappointed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and just to, I guess, sum everything up, you know, it's not like we you know, we're all definitely, from what Marcus said to, you know, DiKembe to Josh and Dmitri, you know, we all appreciate the lyrical content. You know, it's there.
Yeah.
You know, the musicality is there. His ear for music, with choosing beats and even choosing ways to formulate his projects as far as like a fully listenable, fully enjoyable album, which is what we got with the beginning, which is Under Pressure, and the end, which is No Pressure. But at the end of the day, in general, it's just, and I know we all feel the same way. We want more. We want more from Logic at the end of the day. I'd be completely happy if we got another project with the same kind of vibe, maybe some years down the road. You know, I'm not saying that he needs to drop something like in the next couple of days, and I'm not even going to fault him. You know, if, you know, the whole retiring thing, you know, wasn't as truthful as, you know, he said it was going to be, I wouldn't, because this album, like Marcus said, you know, it makes me excited, and this is kind of like a silver lining to all of it. It makes me excited to hear his next project or what he has in the future. You know, so the album itself is good. It is a good album, and you know, we just all hope that Logic puts something out in the future that's, you know, comparable or even better than what he just dropped with No Pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Agreed.
So, what'd you say?
I just said I agree.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So yeah, guys, for all of our listeners and everybody on YouTube, all together, we pretty much give Logic's album an 8. We all definitely enjoyed No Pressure. We just want more from Logic, and hopefully he'll give us that in the future. And once again, guys, we have been the Square Roundtable. This is Album Reviews with DK, and we will catch y'all next week.
For sure.
Peace.
We lost him at the end.
Oh.
Lost the guest at the end. All right. Shoot. I'll just we just won't have an ending. You just won't end it. I'll cut like right before he leaves. And that'll just have to be it.
Okay, because I think as soon as I said we'll catch y'all next week, that's when he just kind of like bloop.
Yeah, so I'll just cut right before that, like right before he like leaves. That will be the end of the video. So, you know, hey, he came back. Look at that. He came back right after he came. Dude, you missed the whole ending. How about this? We can do it right now. Let's do it right now. Hurry up, run it back. Let's run it back.
No pressure, no pressure.
No pressure, bro. No pressure.
I'm out.
But where you want me to start from again?
Dude, this is the whole ending, bro. Just like the whole.
Yeah, like, bro, like, hurry up, because my phone's on 4%.
Hey,
okay, so
crazy.
Okay, so once again, we have been the Square Roundtable. Thank you guys for watching. This is Album Reviews with DK, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Joshua, your phone ain't on the charge.